Think you need more connection, more books, more trainings, or more workshops? What if that constant input from external sources is what's keeping you disconnected from yourself? What if the confidence, calm, and clarity you seek can only be accessed when you're willing to step away from the noise and go within? Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Sea of Radiance. I'm your hostess, Erin. And today I'll address a topic that for many women is intimidating. And in fact, some women are confused as to why I feel it's such an important part of an embodiment. And that is spending some time in personal retreat or on a quiet quest of sorts. Spending time in self reflection to recenter, to self source, and to explore the body and mind free of distractions has been pivotal for me. I began participating in 3-week group meditation retreats when I was 21. I would camp in the Arizona desert. I would get up before sunrise to make breakfast for the group in exchange for the scholarship that I got for the retreat. And then I would drive about an hour to college. I would go to work at the natural food store and come back to catch the evening meditation sessions before going to sleep in my tent under the stars to the sound of coyotes yapping. I lived with roommates back then, so I really relished the retreat time to go within my mind and to learn how to settle my thoughts and find some spaciousness. At those first retreats when I was in my 20s, I was both part of a group learning meditation techniques while also spending time alone to integrate the lessons. Later, I began to spend days and then weeks in retreat, during which I choose to only use my phone to contact my family and to socialize only during meals. And I do this because I discover so much about myself and I reconnect to myself and to the divine. I wonder how that lands for you. Have you gone on personal or group retreats and spent time in undistracted quiet? If not, are you curious? If you were to spend undistracted hours alone, what might you find out about yourself? I find that I settle into time alone in phases. It takes a while before I stop reflexively turning to my phone, for example. I remember one week I spent alone in a cabin that was off grid, and I was gathering pine cones and wood for my fire and bringing water up from the river when some hikers came through. And I was so hungry for conversation that I almost pounced on them talking so much. So it's taken years to become comfortable being in silence by myself, for it not to be awkward even in the presence of other people. It can feel confronting and intense as you wonder how all this is going to go and, what's going to surface if you allow all the feelings inside you to finally bubble up, especially if you don't know other women who have endeavored to meet themselves on a sort of personal quest or who have gone on retreat. It can be daunting to be with your feelings, to cry, to shout, to dance, to sing, to create all alone, and to allow yourself dedicated time to imagine who you might be, if only to allow yourself time to dream, because retreat space is also a really rich space to explore the messages you receive in your dreams. The dream space is a primary communication method of the subconscious to bring things to our attention. Through metaphor, our dreams give us guidance. That is through symbols that are really personal representations for us. We can find clarity and understanding. I used to look my dreams up in a dream dictionary or encyclopedia that I had. So, for example, I remember having a dream when I was in college about a little white dog. The dream encyclopedia said a little white dog meant I would be engaged soon. And each symbol in that book was assigned an associated meaning that should have been true for all dreamers. But I later studied dream analysis and how to interpret the symbols in my dreams. And I found over the past 20 years that, in fact, the symbols are very personal to the dreamer. That little white dog for me could have represented one that I had when I was a child and one I was very close to, rather than a generic symbol that's like prophetic in some way or means the same thing for everyone. That's not how dream symbols work. On retreat, our dreams can become very vivid and very revealing. We're more open and receptive, and we are definitely more sensitive. In our daily modern lives, we have become so hyperstimulated and so desensitized. When we dial back our outer stimuli and turn inward, it's also a potent time to recalibrate all of our sensory inputs. And something you can do on retreat in quiet moments is to explore what kind of touch you like and to try non electric touch, meaning, for example, leave your vibrator at home if you typically use one and opt instead for manual stimulation or any kind of non plug in toys. I strongly suggest this to retrain your sensitivity to require less stimulation. This will ultimately assist you in partnered encounters and intimacy to be able to achieve various kinds of orgasm without having to bring out the plug in stimulator. So, practicing exploring what feels good that is achievable alone or with a partner is nice to do while in a state of heightened sensitivity and the refinement on retreat. And this is also a time to be sure that your diet is as clean as possible as you detox your body, mind, and energy. Some people even fast while they're on retreat. Retreat offers a change in context and perspective, and a change in influences and inputs. So sometimes we need to permit ourselves to fall apart in a private, safe space in order to allow a detox, a release from our bodies of pent up emotions, the weight of the world, the tension accumulated over a lifetime. And then we can reimagine ourselves from that clearer, surrendered, energetic space. And then we can begin to curate what will not be welcome back in our new iteration of self. If we can permit a dissolution to clear the emotional, mental, and energetic cobwebs of the self that we have known, we can then, within that freed space, consciously reemerge, and our reentry can be from a considered place. We are co creators of our life, after all. So, taking some time to go within, to thoughtfully, prayerfully, meditatively listen with curiosity in the silence to the longings of your soul, this will shape and perhaps offer a very new landscape and a new self-portrait, a new vista for you. Getting out of your usual typical context and the roles you play and into a quiet, receptive state of listening, and then committing to acting according to what you receive. That's crucial. Our responsiveness to that which we receive during retreats, meditations, and dreams is acknowledgement of our reciprocal relationship with the divine and the universe. And it's a recognition and honoring that we are in dialogue with the divine and that we are taking time to recenter, to settle into coherence and harmony, to find equilibrium within. This can be a monumental reset. I personally enjoy doing retreats alone, by myself. I've spent many months over the years in meditation and doing yoga, writing, journaling, exploring nature in the mountains and early morning swimming in the sea. But I know that not all of you will feel comfortable or drawn to extended periods of solitude. So I want to offer you another way that you can ease into alone time for reflection without distractions. And that is to just take a few hours or a weekend away. So the ultimate goal of retreat is to lay down your distractions for a set period of time. Even if you live alone, you may keep yourself occupied through conversations or the media. Even reading is a distraction from going within. So even if you live alone, another less intense option for retreat would be to either initially try just a weekend by yourself or even to join an organized retreat, such as a yoga retreat or artists or writers retreat, writers weekend, in a tranquil, beautiful, natural setting that appeals to you. I would say just to be sure that the daily schedule allows you some hours of personal quiet time each day. I love going on an annual retreat on a remote, mostly undeveloped island each summer with other women who are also contemplative, and they've become like sisters to me. We are each comfortable during the time we're on our own, and then we also have so much fun exploring the island, snorkeling, hiking, doing yoga, eating together. Maybe a similar retreat would be a good place to start if you're new to this and, if you would prefer or feel safer in the company of other women. I also love co-facilitating retreats, and I've done so in other countries. It's just a fantastic way to be together with other people while also spending time alone. The point is to dedicate some time specifically to inward reflection and to allow yourself to recalibrate fully. I wonder if you would benefit from a reboot and a reconnection with yourself in a retreat setting. Let me know in the comments, and please share this episode with other women in your life. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.